All right. Hello and welcome back. We are back out here at the shop. So, bit of explanation. Uh, Sick week or Six Smokies has already happened. Didn't end up taking the car, and we'll get inside the shop here, and I'll explain what all happened with that. All right. So to basically give you guys an update about what's going on with the car and why it's not put together and why Six Smokies has already happened and everything. The issue we had is as we put the car together, we realized that we didn't give ourselves enough time. I kind of explained in the first video that we only had like a couple days to do it, like basically a weekend. And the car is just not, it wasn't where it needed to be in order to be put together in that time frame. And we're not skilled enough fabricators or whatever to be able to put the car together that quick. And we were really trying. We really were. We had got the motor in the car in a night and we were hustling on it, but it just kind of ended up being one of those things where the car's beautiful. Like it's a straight up really, really clean, not a lot of rust car. And we were getting to the point where we were going to end up destroying this car, putting it together basically. And that's not what he wanted. That's not what I wanted. And so we decided to just call it quits, call it good. And be like, we're not going to destroy this car in order to make this event that we're not going to make it to anyways. So we ended up taking the car. We did end up taking the same buddy who owns the cars, Mazda Miata. It's an NA Miata, super cool car. It's a lot of fun to drive. It's a 5-speed car. And the reason we kind of decided to drive that car instead of just taking like my truck or his truck was during the Six Smokies event, we ended up going up to the Tail of the Dragon. And when we went to the Tail of the Dragon, we didn't want to just drive a random truck because that's no fun. So we took his car and had fun with it. I'll probably insert some pictures and stuff of us taking it. I really didn't film a whole lot just because I wanted to enjoy the week, to be honest with you. I was so bummed out that we weren't able to take this car that I decided to not really film much. Took a couple pictures. There's a couple videos that I filmed of us just driving around. There's a pretty funny video of us driving around that I'll insert. Driving around at night, but the headlights on that Miata suck so much that I've got my buddy's flashlight hanging out the window and I'm shining the light for him. And I'll go ahead and insert that video here. Oh, that's cool.
That is. Oh, that's really cool.
Oh, car. Sketchiest thing we've ever done.
Not even close. I was gonna say I've done a sketchier version of this, so like not even on the list.
Yeah, but you weren't whipping it.
No, I was just doing 60 in a car that didn't have a clutch. On the way to the shop.
This car might not have a clutch by the end of this week. Ow, a bug hit my hand.
You are literally holding the bug magnet.
I gotta be honest, I feel like I'm doing a great job with this flashlight work.
You are. You're on point with it. Mainly because I think you're fearing for your life.
Yeah. Because now I'm filming as well and I really don't have a way to hold on. Oh, I felt the tire roll on that one.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
You're hallucinating. Take your meds, Grandpa.
I'm losing the book.
Yeah, the book's gone.
Once we decided that we're not taking the car, we took the Miata and all that went down, we decided, okay, well, what's the next plan? The goal is to put it together still and put it together still with the LS that's behind me. Go a lot further than we had planned originally. The car is going to get sent off to a chassis shop. The front end's going to get cut off of it. It's probably going to get a Crown Vic front end. So that's probably what this car's going to get. The front end's going to get chopped off. It's going to get a Crown Vic front end put on it. We've also kind of somewhat talked about, while it's at the chassis shop, going ahead and getting a Ford 9-inch for it, having the car 4-linked and put tubs in the back. He's always wanted this car to be a Pro Street type of car. So that's probably what we're gonna end up going with, is putting big tires in the back. The way he likes to build stuff is that he doesn't want to build it ever again. He wants to do it right the first time. And so that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try and build this car where, you know, we'll tinker on it here a little, like fix things that we don't really like or that he doesn't really like. And then the car will be done, ready to go. The goal for all this, the timeline that we kind of have, is we'd like to make LS Fest East, which is in Bowling Green, which is only about an hour and a half away from us. We'd like to make that this coming next year of 2026. So that is the goal for this car now. And it's pretty attainable, but the reason that it might be a little hard is because during our trip on Six Smokies, my buddy convinced me, the same buddy who owns this car that I showed you guys in my first video, he convinced me to start looking at cars. I was scrolling Facebook Marketplace the entire week trying to find something cool to drive. I really had a couple criteria that I wanted. I really wanted it to be a cool body style that I love. I wanted it to be a stick shift car, and I wanted it to be something that was going to be super easy and cheap to work on. I don't plan on putting nearly as much money into this car as he's putting into this car. I did end up finding a car. I'll show you guys what that car is right now. All right, guys, so front of the shop, come around to the back, we can see what my new car is. I found a 1993 Fox Body Mustang. Now, it's an LX car. It's not a GT car, so it's got the 4-cylinder in it right now, but it's got some aftermarket wheels already on it. It's a 5-speed car. It's not the notchback. It is a hatchback. I got the car for a super good deal. Obviously, you know, there's some things that need to be fixed, some body work that needs to be done, some panels and stuff. It needs a door handles and stuff, but the car runs and drives. The fact that it's a running and driving car for the price point I got it at, super good deal. The plan for this car is right now it's going to stay the way it is. It's going to stay the 4-cylinder. The reason I'm staying with the 4-cylinder is because I want to do this car as cheap as I possibly can do it. And by doing that, I'm going to leave the motor in it for right now so I can drive it. Eventually, the goal is to build an LS for it, LS swap it, and put a Tremec T56 in it, or some type of Tremec transmission or something beefier transmission, because these T5s will shatter from what I've been told. I love these body styles. I've always wanted a Fox body, and this was the body style that I wanted. And so I'm really happy that I finally got one. And it's fairly clean. I mean, there's obviously the door panels in the back here. I just got to put it back on. I mean, it's fairly clean. It's not terrible condition. Like, it needs a good cleaning. But I mean, it runs and drives, starts, transmission shifts, clutch works, brakes work, everything. Like I said, it's going to get an LS motor with a nicer transmission. Tremec is what I'm shooting for. But like I've been saying, I want to do it as cheaply as I possibly can. So with that being said, the kind of stuff that I'm going to look into doing to it is I'm going to find a junkyard LS, which I've already got a line on. I'm going to build it, probably pistons, rods, stock crank, stock heads type of deal. Probably, you know, put some heavier springs in the heads, because the ideal is to go for boost with this engine. Now, I say boost when I build it. I'm going to build it with the capability of it also running NA, which is fairly easy to do with a boost type of motor, because my goal is to run the car NA first. I say NA first because, like I said, I'm trying to do this as cheap as possible. Cheapest possible for me is it's going to take me a while to put this car together. The 4-cylinder does have issues. As anybody who knows about those 4-cylinders knows, they're gutless pieces of junk motor. They're terrible. So the issue I'm having with it right now is it's got some type of ignition problem. The car will start and it will drive, but you have to put your foot to the floor for the car to go anywhere. You put it in gear, you let out on the clutch, and it almost kills itself. I've got some type of ignition problem between what I've read. If anybody knows any more about those cars, then let me know. I think it's probably the ignition control module. That's the only thing, and that's what I've read on forums and other things that tell me what it is. There's some tests that I can do to check if that is the issue, and I'm going to do those. I had to order some back probing tools for my multimeter, and so I can't do that today, but hopefully within the next week or so I can be able to do that and test it and make sure that it's actually that, because it's a $200 part, and if I'm going to do this as cheap as I possibly can, I don't want to just be spending $200 guessing. So we're going to be doing a lot of diagnostics on this car. This car is going to be the car that I'm going to use my personal self to learn everything I need to know. And what I mean by saying that is I'm not going to look for any help on this car. Obviously, if somebody in the comments has something that could help me, I'm going to use that. But I'm not going to be going to any body shops or any mechanic shops or anything like that. I'm going to try and do everything to this car myself. And I want to do that because the Fox body style is a very, very popular body style. And that being said, everybody knows how to work on them. Everybody knows how to do them. And there's a lot of parts for those cars. It's very easy to understand and work on those cars because there's so much information about them. That's kind of what I'm going to use to help teach myself about, fabricating and installing and, what the motor needs to run right in the car and stuff like that. That's the plan with that. Some of the things that I'm going to do today is I'm going to try and pick up the shop a little bit. I'm probably going to move the car over here and clean it because it needs a really good bath. And then I'm going to take the wheels off and I'm going to try and knock some of those dents out of the fenders. For now, I'm going to just kind of pick up the shop a little bit and try and get things a little bit more organized than they are now. Alright guys, I have kind of somewhat cleaned up a little. Like, it still looks like a pretty bad mess, but it's somewhat organized in a way that I know, so it's not as bad as it looks. This side's still pretty bad. It's still got a bunch of trash and stuff. A lot of this side is just spare parts and stuff, and so all of that's going to get dealt with eventually or used or whatever. This side's kind of just like other motors and oil and it's kind of just junk and stuff that's put everywhere, oil and stuff. So my plan is that car's staying there. The Datsun, which is underneath this car cover, I'm going to try to roll it in and then push it over as far over this way as I can. I'm thinking that if I do that and then kind of maybe move some of this stuff more that way, I can get both cars in here, my car and that Datsun. That's kind of the hope. I'm not sure that it's going to work, but I'm going to try it right now and we'll see if it works. All right, guys, I was able to fit both cars in here pretty decently, honest. I mean, this one's a little close to all this stuff over here, and so if we have to get to this stuff, it's probably going to be a bit of a pain, but honestly, this is just for the winter because, I mean, we'll be out here some, but not all the time. And so I really wanted to get this car in so it doesn't sit outside during the winter and get destroyed. I mean, there's a good amount of side to work on it. So, I mean, we got our toolbox. We can work on the car while it's in here. There's good walking room all around. But this car is ready to get some work done to it. Once I get that back probe kicked in, we'll start to work on this and get it ready to run good and figure out what parts it needs and everything. There's already a few things that I've got ordered that I know it needs, like door handles and stuff. But yeah, this is where we're at right now. I got 3 whole cars in the shop. Well, all right, guys, I'm leaving the shop now. Like I said, both cars are in there, ready to go for the winter. Ready to work on both if need be, or all 3 if need be. We'll see. If you like what you watch, give me a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.